Let's welcome Who's That Meta Deck? Good day, Tamers. Welcome back to our second episode of Who's That Meta Deck. So today's episode will be Green, as Green had a good showing in the last events of the Evo tournament, with the UK, or the European, was also a UK player, having the HerculesKabuterimon deck profile. Now, I think it's going to change a little bit. We do get a bit more recursion through the Digisorption and the Digiburst for Green, as it seems to be a carry-on theme they wanted to do in Green for a little bit longer. That being said, though, we're going to head over to our babies. We're going to have a good time. We're going to see what they're up to. So, for our first section of Digimon today, we go over to our Digitama, who are... we got the Green Yokomon, we got one Argamon. Now, you can do this however you want. If you think Argamon's will be better for you, you can do 4 Argamons and then 1 Yokomon, or you can do like 2 and a 3, or you can do the Argamons and the Minamon. However you want to do this is best for you. The only reason why I think this is best for me is because essentially we want to be suspending through our Kabuterimon and then crashing into something with that, smashing into it, doing a piercing effect. Obviously, because we're bigger, we don't have to worry too much about the security smashing us back down. So for me, the correct choice would be the Yokomon. As I said, you do whatever you want. Whatever makes you feel better, whatever you think is best for you, you go do that. But I think this is the best set currently. Now, let's go over to our lovely, lovely rookies. Now, this is a bit of a hodgepodge, and you can change the Goblinmon out for an Argamon if you wanted to, but personally speaking, I think this is the best set of rookies we have currently. We have a Searcher for our Tenamon, which is, hey, look, you literally play me on the field, I will search you a card as if it was a draw for Digivolving, and if it's a green Digimon, keep it in your hand. The Palmon from this set is on deletion, so this is essentially the new Wormmon for what we want anyway, is a place 1 Palmon from your trash under your green Digimon at the bottom of its Digilution sources. And that's great, because the other Palmon that we got in BT4, which was a Probo, so it was an early addition for us, I think Japan got theirs during set 6, or around set 6, just before. This has Digiburst on, and when you Digiburst it, you get to choose jamming for one of your Digimon. Well, if I have this on my wonderful, lovely HerculesKabuterimon, I Digiburst this away, and then say I Digiburst one of our champions away. We'll see what I mean in a second. We gain these effects, and we carry on going through. Don't have to worry about it being a bigger Digimon on the DP scale when you go into the security. Just goes through. And then for our final rookie, I'm just going to use a Goblinmon here. 2 cost, it's one of these, but I just want to get onto the field if I can. The Tenamon has, I think, some synergy with an Argamon. The level 3 one won't let you play a Digimon. I don't think it has the stop the on-play effects, but we'll see when we get further down. And this is the 16 cards I think are really good for our rookie lineup. It's all for you if you want to do something different. Obviously, there's also the Palmon where I think it's on Digivolving. We might be on play as well, where you can search for champions. You can literally make this like a Palmon deck with like Tenamon, or you can literally take the Tenamon out, put 12 Palmons in here and do the Goblinmon or the Argamon, whatever you want. Just having a 2-cost rookie to play does help out. Green doesn't really have too much of an issue with memory gain, but you know, whatever's cheaper lets you do more things for that turn. So if we get ourselves over to our champion lineup, we have Weedmon, Stingmon, and Kabuterimon. So there's only 2 Stingmons in here. You could do a 3-3-4, you could do a 2-4-4, how you want to do this. I think for how we're going to play this deck, you want the Weedmon of 4. Stingmon's pretty cool, but this is more of a specific lineup, which I don't think we'll be getting really that often, so the 2 will be better. But yeah, they're all 1-cost evolution sources, which is great for Green. Green's very good at getting cheap evolution sources. We've got our blockers. If you want to have blockers here, this will be something you can use on your on-play Tentamon, throw him down, throw yourself down a Kabuterimon, and that way you've just got a little blocker, save yourself 1 hit if the other person isn't running anything with piercing. Stingmon again, this is more of the go for the throat kind of mentality as opposed to the I just want to win mentality. And then the weed one here is just for getting high while getting high. You Digiburst away, you gain a memory. You know, that's pretty good. Especially because, again, Green's very good at using things for cheap. Hey, look, if I can Digiburst this away, I somehow get myself 6 memory now, and I don't have access to a hidden potential discovered. And then I want to go, hey, look, I can now Digivolve this into a wonderful, lovely Chaosmon, and it takes me to 0 memory, and then I can play something else that's super cheap as well, like maybe another 1-cost thing on a rookie, or I'll put down a 2-cost rookie. You know, trying to choke your opponent out is essentially a Green thing, so memory choke as well as cheap evolutions is what Green does very, very well, and I believe this would be probably one of the best lineups, if not the best lineup currently, for this. Then we go into our ultimate lineup, which is a bit different. I'm not 100% sure if I actually like this lineup, but I think it's possibly the best. So how I've been running would be 1 Argamon and then 3 Blossomons, but because Digisorption's kind of getting kicked in the face because there's a few cards in this set, namely Cutemon and Ghostmon, I think Digisorption needs to sort of sit back a little bit more. But in the same ways about it, I think having at least 1 Argamon is really good. And I think Leelamon's pretty good. She's a free cost. Kabuterimon is a free cost. Argamon is a free cost. Digisorption makes it a 0 cost. And obviously, this is fantastic here. When attacking, you may play 1 level 3 green Digimon card from your hand suspended without paying its memory cost. I think that's really good. And also, because of this effect, you can then obviously use it to Digivolve something into, as well as having the extra things on the field. It doesn't have a restriction on the on-play effect, so you could use a Tenemon. Tenemon will obviously search because it's got plays in the field. Make a Kabuterimon, again, it's more like the Stingmon sort of line where you want it just to be very aggressive, you want it to essentially win more, you want to just take as much security as possible, especially early game if you can get there. And then Leelamonn here is essentially just the case of if you attack and you have a Tamiya in play, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. This is more, I wouldn't necessarily say late game, this is probably more when your board's more established, you know, it's mid game I guess, and you're going into the late game. This is where you want to be. And then we have our Megas. Now our Megas are a bit different. And the reason why this is, it's just because I like the idea of having the Fleegismon be able to go on top of the Kabuterimon and then Digivolve again maybe. And so the idea for this is essentially Kabuterimon, very scary Digimon. You can suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, you can then pierce, you can then use the effect of the Mega Kabuterimon. So you're essentially gaining 2 hits. If you Digiburst away your Palmon with the jamming, you then have to worry about smashing into something jam with a high DP, so you just go through it. But the Reflexion here is the Trash 2. This Digimon can gain 2000 DP for the turn. So all of your Digimon gain 2000 DP for the turn. And that also means that if you have more than that, so if you have, let's say, HerculesKabuterimon and then, say, an Ultimate, or you have the Rookie still, or you have your Baby, you can Digiburst that away. This is going to gain 3000 DP. It possibly also still has jamming. And it could also have any other effects that it had from Digiburst or under it that would have added to it, and then once per turn, one of your Digimon activates Digiburst, one of your opponent's Digimon cannot attack or block until the end of your opponent's next turn. So if you're going to get, say, like a Craniumon deck, and it's essentially put you in a situation where you can't pierce through it because it's too big, you can do this, you can activate the effect, you can Digiburst, the effect then activates, they can't attack, they can't defend, you can then smash into their security stack and they're stuck then for a turn. So I think this is kind of more of a get around situation, which I think is pretty good, and I think it's going to be quite useful, maybe against things with jamming. So if you're looking at maybe a blue deck that's going to get you sort of in a sticky situation where you can't fight back against it, this will be a tech option, as it also digivolves from a Mega Green source. So yeah, for the extra 1 cost, you do lose the 1000 DP, but you are gaining the effect that if anything's Digiburst this turn, it will have the effect that, you know, no means no. No blocking, no attacking. Then we move over to the What's Good Pussing At lineup, which is the wait, you again, but something feels a little different. And this is because Chaosmon's actually really good, like both the Chaosmons are really good. So I think everyone knows what this Chaosmon does. It's the rare Chaosmon, so it's actually technically the cheaper Chaosmon, but it's probably the better Chaosmon. Yeah, let's keep going in circles. So it has piercing, an innate effect, and then when it digivolves, it's unsuspended Digimon. Then it can attack your opponent's Digimon. This effect allows you to attack unsuspended Digimon as well. It's fantastic. I don't think the unsuspended effect continues. I think it is literally just for that 1 turn. I could be wrong, but the way it's worded to me makes it feel like it's just a one and done thing. Like, look, you've unsuspended. Now you can just slash things around if you want to for this 1 turn. And there we go. It's a 14k beat stick. Has piercing. It's probably going to, like, you know, destroy anything on the field, especially because it can attack anything on the field. And then we can go into the situation of getting your opponent down even more. If you run this in like the OTK variant of the deck, which I don't think is that great, to be honest. I do think it has a lot of issues, especially when it comes against things that will option it. Like, say for instance, like green versus red, there's always a chance you can hit an Omnimon. Or if you got jamming, that's not so scary, but there's always a chance you're going to hit a Gaia Force, and that is scary because you can't block against that in green currently. I don't think there's anything like a delicate plan for green yet, but there could always be down the line. So I do think having 2 of these in the deck is the right amount. You don't want to see it too often, but you obviously want to see it more than never, which sounds very strange. And then for our last section, the player's choice. Now this is a bit weird, So I kind of forgot about it originally, but there is a hidden potential discovered. It does get kind of nerfed in this. So the weird thing about this set is it seems like they tried to fix how green worked before they fixed how green worked by having the whole Digisorption and hidden potential discovered got kind of counter/nerfed by Cutemon and Ghostmon. Obviously, you're not going to get them on the field every single time all the time, which is why then they got the next ban, which was essentially, you know, restricted to 1 for Argomon and then 1 for hidden potential discovered. A lot of people are saying, hey, Argomon's not actually that scary. It's essentially the same as a Angie-Woman, and it kind of is. It has a very similar effect, except Angie-Woman does have kind of a similar trigger, which is you have to be at free security before you can activate it. Whereas that's essentially, hey, look, if you can swing on turn 2, I'm going to throw down a rookie. But this is the current lineup. It can be tweaked. If you just put how you like. If you don't like the flower cans, you want 4 needle spray, put 4 needle spray. If you don't think you're going to use hidden potential discovered because you're scared of it obviously being countered, take that out. Put maybe another rookie. Put another tamer in. Put more champions in. This is where it's player's choice. You tell yourself what do you feel more comfortable with. This is somewhere the lineup that we have here for ourselves. We have the Mimi. We have 1 Mimi in our deck. And I think that's probably the good amount. I know I've heard some people say they want to have 2 because they obviously want to see Mimi as much as possible, and she's very, very good. But I think having 1 is probably the best because you don't want to start filling your hand with too many options and too many tamers. Because if you are starting to look for things on your Tentamon, you don't want to have a 1 in 5 chance of accidentally pulling a card that you don't want to see. So for us, 2 flower cannons, essentially this is more that you're hoping it's going to be on the stack for your security, and that you just suspend everything that's attacking. I'm pretty sure this will suspend something that's got multiple security hits too. So if you hit the first one, everything gets suspended, so I think it does stop all the rest of the security attacks, because the idea is obviously you have to deal with what it is and you're being suspended during that attack. Needle spray again does the exact same thing as flower cannon, except it's a 1 target, so if you play these both from your hand, they're 1 targets, whereas if you play flower cannon from the security, it's all targets without blocker. And then with needle spray, it does its main effect and then adds it to your hand, so you're essentially getting a recursion effect from that, which I think is really good. HPD, I think everyone knows what this does now, which is the whole you suspend the Digimon and you can reduce something's cost by 5. Fantastic. It is a very, very good, and it is very, very annoying if you don't know how to deal with it. Luckily for our meta, we got banned basically before we could even start playing the 1.5 meta, so we did get to only know it as a weakened state, but yeah, even now it's still pretty good. And then the new Izzy and the new Mimi. So this is the if your opponent has a suspended Digimon in play, gain 2 memory at the start of your turn. I think how this works would Mimi activate first, so you get your memory to 3 if you're not already at 3, and then Izzy and Mimi would then activate afterwards if your opponent has like reboot in play, which I found out today, which I thought was very interesting. That reboot doesn't trigger at the end of my turn; it is actually at the end, start during the unsuspended phase of your opponent's turn. So that will have to be something we have to do, I suppose, later on with our games if that ever comes up again. Again, now that we know how this works, when these cards do come to us, we're in the UK, we won't be receiving these for another 3 weeks. We will do that then. But the other cool thing about the Izzy and Mimi is, when you attack with a level 5 Digimon, you may suspend this tamer to reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. You may Digivolve 1 green level 6 Digimon card amongst them onto the attacking Digimon without paying its memory cost. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. It's such a weird, like, throwing your hand to the wind kind of situation where it's like, okay, I can either suspend something with, say, like Lilymon, and she will then attack into it, just destroy it. Maybe it's a blocker, you just want to get the block off the field because you're concerned, obviously, stopping you later in the game. And then, you do your 3, and it's like, oh crap, there was like 2 rookies and an option card. Well, luckily, because you didn't hit the stack, you didn't have to worry about being destroyed by something. But I do think that's pretty cool. I do think the player's choice here is what we want to go with. So, if you guys have any differences that you'd like to see, put them in the comments. Let us know. Again, this isn't like mathematically the best deck, but this is one of those decks that it works, it's tested, it will run things down, it will run things through, and you will win games with it. And if you're not happy with that, you can't trust Bandai. So, with that being said, Tamers, have a great day. We'll see you guys for the next episode. I think we'll do Purple next, because Purple could do with some love. So, see you then, Tamers. Goodbye.